The university draws its strength from its community, its students, its faculty, its staff, and its alumni. The Order of the University of Calgary recognizes those within our university family who have brought great honor to this institution. I would ask that Shawna Cunningham and Jacky Seaport please stand. Shawna Cunningham and Jacky Seaport are deserving recipients of the Order. As co-chairs of the Indigenous Strategy Working Group, Jacky and Shawna work tirelessly to connect with the university community and external stakeholders to develop an authentic path towards reconciliation. Shawna was gifted with the Blackfoot name Mai'stoo Piik'sii, Crow Spirit Woman, in 2004 by the Piik'sii elders Reg and Rose Crowshoe. Earlier this year, Jacky was gifted with the Blackfoot name of Oot'soo Piik'sii, Shorebird, also by Reg Crowshoe. Jacky and Shawna's efforts led to the creation of Ittapatope, our university's first Indigenous strategy. 2 years of consultation led up to the strategy launch in 2017. And during this time, Jacky and Shawna collaborated with traditional knowledge keepers, Indigenous educators, and campus representatives to build a framework with wisdom and collective storytelling from an Indigenous worldview. Shawna Cunningham is a Métis Cree from southern Alberta, and she serves as director of the Indigenous Strategy. Following a distinguished early career as a student recruiter, an instructor, and an administrator, Shawna joined our university in 2000 as the director of the Native Center. In this role, Shawna provided developmental leadership for numerous community-based programs and student services. These included the Native Ambassador Post-Secondary Initiative, the Links Aboriginal Student Career Program, the Aboriginal Student Access Program, and the Indigenous Relations Leadership Program. In 2016, Shawna received the Chief David Crowchild Award in recognition of her commitment to building capacity and partnerships in Indigenous programming. She holds a bachelor's degree from the University of Lethbridge and a master's degree from the University of Alberta. Currently, she's also pursuing a doctorate degree at the Workland School of Education. Shawna is an outstanding mentor in our community and a passionate advocate for Indigenous relations. Jacky Seaport has been a faculty member at the University of Calgary for over 25 years. After serving as Associate Dean Academic, Associate Dean Research and Partnerships, and Director of E-Learning, he became Dean of the Faculty of Social Work in July 2010. Jacky's professional experience includes his social work practice in short-term adolescent care, probation, and program planning and evaluation settings. In his primary research, he is focused on mechanisms to support evaluation and accountability in social policy and human services, as well as the use of technology in social work practice. He received his PhD in social work at Arizona State University. Prior to that, Jacky completed a Bachelor of Social Work and a Master of Social Work here at the University of Calgary. His commitment to Ittapatope, along with his excellent leadership skills, have made Jacky an inspiring leader and change maker. Eminent Chancellor, I present to you Shawna Cunningham and Dr. Jacky Seaport, true citizens of the University of Calgary. I invite you to admit them as members of the Order of the University of Calgary in recognition of their exemplary and distinguished service to our community.
It is my great pleasure to now admit you as a member of the Order of the University of Calgary. Congratulations. Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, Dr. Cannon, members of the University Senate and Board, our remarkable colleagues at the University of Calgary, guests, and of course today's graduates. We are humbled and grateful to be recognized by a university that has so strongly nurtured our careers and allowed us to shape transformative initiatives such as Itāpatop. My name is Jacky Seaport. I'm a social worker, an educator, a father, a grandfather. I'm also the product of homesteader families, settlers who came to Canada with hope and gratitude for the opportunity to build a new life. As hard as the soil they tilled, absolutely driven to defining a bright future for their children, and the hardest working people I have ever known. As a child in the Handhills of southern Alberta, I revered my grandparents. I believe they taught me everything I would ever need to know in life. In most ways, they did just that. As an adult, though, I now know there were things my homesteader families did not teach me. I've learned that, like all of you, I am a treaty person. I have learned that I knew nothing of Indigenous communities or the historic relationships we have had with those communities. I have learned as a social worker that we continue to see Indigenous peoples marginalized and overrepresented in our corrections and child protection systems. Most of all, I have learned about the impact of loss and the legacy of residential schools. As a father, I have experienced the relentless and unforgiving pain of losing a child. Yet, I stand before you today, unable to fully imagine the loss endured by Indigenous families who've seen their children removed without notice or reason, families who were not allowed to see their children, families who witnessed a conscious process of assimilation that stole their children's love, culture, identity, and future. Families who learned their children were abused in so many ways. This is why I am, as a social worker and a father, so passionate about our Indigenous strategy, Itāpatop. I am an ally, one who cares deeply about creating hope and new futures for those children and their families. For all of us who shaped Itāpatop, this strategy represents a collective commitment by our whole institution. At its core, the strategy recognizes that our relationships and the unfolding of life's events are guided by natural cycles of transformation and renewal. We have tried to build these principles into Itāpatop, acknowledging that this is more than just a plan. It is a human process, one that will involve our children and the children of generations to come. It is a process that recognizes we are all tied together with countless threads of reciprocal caring and love. This is also a strategy deeply grounded in gratitude. Gratitude to the Creator for the world around us and the ancestors, families, and friends that guide us now. Gratitude for the relationships we share and for the opportunity to build new relationships with Indigenous communities. We offer thanks to Drew Marshall and Jackie Ottman, who chair the steering committee with magnificent vision and extreme patience. To members of the steering committee for their imagination and determination. To the members of our working group, more than 36 people from across our campus who brilliantly transformed ambiguity and complexity into passion and truth. And of course, to the elders and traditional knowledge keepers, particularly Reg and Rose Crowshoe, Evelyn Goodstriker, and Roy Weaselfat, who continue to teach and guide us so gently with their stories. We also offer thanks to the late Andy Blackwater, who taught us that hope and kindness are truly the spirit of Itāpatop.
Eminent Chancellor, President Cannon, faculty, traditional knowledge keepers, colleagues, friends, family, and graduates. Nitanako Mai'stoo Piik'sii. My name is Shawna Cunningham, and I am a Cree Métis woman with historical ancestral ties to the Edmonton River Valley, St. Albert, and the Lesser Slave Lake region. I had the great privilege of being born and raised in the heart of Blackfoot country, the southwest corner of southern Alberta, along the foothills and in the shadows of the Rocky Mountains. A landscape that I love and a place that is forever part of my being. My Métis, Cree, settler heritage and the place that I was born and raised are part of my cultural, my intercultural, and my intergenerational identity. I come from a family of educators and have devoted my career to education and my heart to helping create a better education system overall, a system in which Indigenous people feel welcome and safe, are respected, and can thrive. As Indigenous people, we have much to contribute in terms of our distinct ways of knowing and being in relation to the world. For me, developing the Indigenous strategy was indeed one of the wondrous collective highlights of my career, and it continues to stand out throughout my life, and I will always remember and treasure the journey. I am so grateful to the University of Calgary for giving me the opportunity to be involved and the space and the time that we needed as a working group to create the strategy in a good and respectful way. The spirit of Yitapatope carried us on a parallel path that unfolded naturally, guided in ceremony and driven by university leadership. We are very proud that on this journey we have committed to creating a path marked by mutual respect, common goals, and a commitment to authentic relationships. We will together create relationships that benefit both Indigenous and settler communities. If our strategy could talk, it might say to us, "Greetings, friends. My name is Yitapatope. For you see, Yitapatope is a living document. It has a spirit. It is not a two-dimensional document on white paper or a two-page handout that tells us what to do and how to do it. It is a living energy that we can relate to, engage with, take care of, and help shape. It is a gift that carries deep meaning should we choose to engage, dig deeper, and get to know it better. It can be recognized, and it has been recognized and validated through ceremonial guidance of traditional knowledge keepers. It has been gifted with a name. It has inspired the gifting of an honor song for our institution. It has a story, it has a home, and it has relatives, and it has a future. And that future is in all of our hands. Yitapatope was collectively created through parallel ways in a shared intercultural space by many hearts, many hands, many minds. We are now responsible to ensure that its spirit is recognized and nurtured. Our friend and colleague and co-chair, Jacqueline Ottman, once stated that she views decolonization as a cleansing process and indigenization as a healing journey. If we engage in decolonization, then we are on the path towards reconciliation and can embrace indigenization through the lens of cultural humility and a heart full of compassion for all of those who have been marginalized, silenced, and oppressed in our society. To our graduates, we ask that you walk softly on the earth. Like Yitapatope, the earth is alive. It witnesses our intent, our actions, and the legacy of what we leave behind. The path you choose should be one of kindness, for kindness is at the heart of reciprocity and humility, and we are all related. Thank you.